me, John. I'm dusting off the camera. I've been a bit absent because I've been kind of like battling with a cold and bad throat and cough. So this is a little early doing anything TFNation related video wise. I will grant you that. This isn't a guest update video or anything. Nothing, no information. What I'm saying is, no guests have been announced as of yet or anything like that. It's way too early. The whole point of this is to try and drum up a bit of support for TFNation again with their Patreon, and generally keep drumming that support. Just try and get that support for them. Because the reason why I wasn't going to make a video like this is literally just a very spontaneous thing, me doing this. And as you guys already know I am one of the, you could call me one of the cheerleaders that cheer on the TFNation crew on YouTube and such. There's a few of us that do it there's a couple of people besides myself that do TFNation related videos. Excuse me. Pre-TFNation and also post videos as well, leading up to the events. Now, the reason why I'm making this video so early is just I've just been kind of watching. I support the TFNation crew, or TFNation should I say. I support TFNation on Patreon, and they've just been starting uploading behind the scenes vlogs. Now, if they don't want me to kind of say too much about what they say on Patreon right out like this, then I won't go into massive detail. Just because obviously Patreon is deliberately a behind the scenes thing. Obviously what they are releasing, what they are releasing on Patreon and talking about on Patreon, they aren't talking about anything that is like spoilerish or is very, 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 very exciting news or anything like that. That news will be made public anyways eventually, when they start kind of announcing guests and such like that. But I will be kind of a little bit careful with what I talk about, just in case I don't want everything just blurted out there. But yeah, so I'm going to be a little bit vague with that, out of respect. If they want me, if I get a couple comments from people behind the scenes like Billy or whatever, saying, you could have just spoken about it, but I don't want to tread on eggshells. I don't want to cause any issue. So I will be very, very careful of what I say, just in case. But yeah, I have always had a great appreciation for the guys behind the scenes, for the whole planning committee, and the guys behind the scenes that run TFNation. And they are really starting, from what I can gather, they are starting to really implement Patreon in a big way by really utilizing Patreon, also YouTube as well still, and social media to really try and promote and really kind of give us, the supporters, the fans, the people that support TFNation, give us a voice and give us a way to sort of get involved in if things don't seem to be working, to kind of get your opinion over about certain things. Because everybody's different when it comes to experiencing things. For me, I don't really have I don't have any bad words whatsoever to say about TFNation as an event. I absolutely love it right across the board. So there's quite a few people, but there will be the odd person out there that probably does does enjoy, but there's certain aspects that they probably don't. Which is what they are crying out for. They are crying out for what I would call creative criticism, which is the perfect word for it. Creative criticism. It doesn't, if there is something that someone or an individual doesn't really, it's just not working for them, then it's something that they could bring to the TFN crew, and they could possibly work something out as an idea. So they are really starting to kind of implement and trying to kind of like come to Patreon and really in a big way trying to make us, because that is the whole idea of TFNation in a way, is that why TFNation is such a rare beast in the convention scene. I'm not saying there isn't other conventions out there that have a similar sort of method to TFNation. Excuse me. I do apologise. But yeah, so there are other conventions out there that are independent. Obviously, there are quite a lot of independent conventions out there that are run by a fan base and are a dedicated fan base of a specific thing. Could be Star Trek, Star Wars, Power Rangers, comic convention, anime, whatever you. It doesn't really matter. There are others out there that are similar in that regard. But however, TFNation are a rare beast in the fact of how they go about booking guests, how they try to keep costs down when it comes to getting autographs, things of that nature. And, you don't see that very often with conventions, especially not the corporate ones, as I should say, like MCM Comic Con and San Diego Comic Con, the big ones where they are, all about just making money off the fans, really. Compared to, say, like TFNation, yeah, of course, people spend money on maybe getting some autographed or buying toys or buying merchandise to help support, or buying merchandise to help support the event, things like TFNation t-shirts and stuff. Yeah, that goes without saying, but it's not all about that. It's that TFNation is a lot more of an inclusive sort of experience and environment for people that love Transformers, and not necessarily fans of Transformers. It's for anybody, wherever they are, because in my experience with TFNation is a lot of people go there with their significant others that probably they know of Transformers, but they are not on the same level of a collector, or they're not a massive enthusiast compared to, say, their husband or their girlfriend or whatever. So it's a very family friendly affair. Like most conventions are usually quite family friendly anyway, but it's a safe event for you to take your child or your kids, or to bring your girlfriend or your wife or your fiance or whatever whatever it is, you can, it's that type of event where it's a weekend away sort of thing. It just happens to be a convention dedicated to Transformers, but yeah, it's one of those things where everybody's welcome, regardless of where you stand. If you're a fan, not as much. You're aware of it, but not as much as the other person. That kind of thing. It doesn't matter. It's all inclusive. It doesn't matter where you stand. As long as you have a good time and you don't cause any issues, then nobody's really going to blink an eye. So yeah, that's the rare, beautiful thing about TFNation, is how inclusive it is, regardless of who comes. So the point of this video is, I'm not going to make this too long. And obviously I can't talk for too long without starting to going into a coughing fit anyway. So, it's, well, what I'm trying to say is if you check the description below the video, you will find a link to their Patreon account. Now, I'm not going to force anybody. I know these are hard times for people. People are, some people, well, most people are, finding it difficult to make ends meet and such. And I am a believer of charity, what I would call charity, but, I believe, charity begins at home before anything else. That's where my standpoint is when it comes to charity, even though I do support causes such as at TFNation with Tofu, with Mary's Meals, a fantastic cause, things of that nature. But but what I'm saying is I understand it's trying times for a lot of people, and some people, they might have a certain situation going on where they probably can't afford to pay anything out or lay out any money, but it's really, really cheap. Their tariffs and everything is really cheap. But it's a great. So if I'm just going to leave the link in the description, and it's going to be for anyone's discretion to go ahead and check it out. And if they wish to help support them on Patreon, then go ahead and do so. Like I say, I'm not going to force anybody because it's not my right to do so. And I don't think TFNation would like it if I'm forcing anyone as much. But that is not what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying and, finger people towards the Patreon account a little bit, because they are making behind the scenes vlogs. I just watched. I watched a vlog by, Dave Calpram and Chris Carter, and Billy is coming in there with some update stuff, and it's looking like TFNation 2024 plans are starting to they're in the vocal stage, in the planning stages and meetings. It's very exciting times, and obviously with this TFN Minicon, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to do TFN Minicon next year. It generally depends on money and what alternative plans are. There's other possibilities of other things happening next year for me besides TFN in August. Well, I'm going to wait and see. It's up in the air. I know it's only for one day, but I still need to get a hotel room for the night, at least. So it's going to be a cheaper affair compared to August, but it's still up in the air. But I will update people near the time when that happens anyway. Whether or not I do decide to go or not, it just generally depends on money. But yeah, I will almost certainly will be going to the one in August. It's the 40th anniversary of the Transformers franchise, so I will try my absolute hardest to get there in August because it's celebrating the 40th anniversary. But yeah, so that's the point of the video. So just try and kind of bring people's attention to the Patreon account. I know I don't have to do this. I don't have to make a video of this nature. But like I say, I'm one of the people that tries to help TFNation and try and continue the support for them, word of mouth and all that. So yeah. But yeah, so like I said, if you check the description below, there will be the link to their Patreon account, TFNation's Patreon. If you wish to go and check it out, and if you wish to join their Patreon, then go ahead. Like I say, I'm not going to force. It's just, use your discretion. Like I say, there was a fair few people already on there, but like I say, it's kind of interesting, it's really kind of interesting of getting a perspective of just getting a little bit of perspective of what it's like behind the scenes. The amount of time they spend, planning these things out is unreal. It really is unreal. What was said in some of those posts on the Patreon account is quite eye-opening to see it actually, to kind of give you a perspective of what it can be like for them. It's just absolutely amazing, and I am just constantly awe-inspired by the dedication of the team behind the scenes. Always, it's just, they are the epitome of fans. They obviously love this franchise, love Transformers, of course, and they are very proud of TFNation as an event, and they are very happy with this. Obviously they're happy with the type of clientele, or should I say attendees, that, they're obviously drumming up a great crowd, and they put on amazing events. But like I say, as well, they are also opening up to questions. I believe they're saying that there was something about a monthly Q&A that they're going to be doing, I think, on their Patreon and most likely over their social medias. So if so yeah, so that's a way for people as well to voice their any issues, concerns. If you're somebody that's never been, if any sort of situation, anything like that, you could probably bring up in a question, part of the Q&A, or you could just send them a message privately if you wish, through email or through Facebook Messenger or whatever. They are really great, and they are very, very, very. They are very responsive to anything like that. So, yeah. So if you have any, so if you wanted to get in, if you want to talk to them direct, then email or Facebook Messenger or whatever is a great way to go about that. Or if you wish to, like I say, support them on Patreon, you could also talk to them and chat to them on there as well. And see what's going on. It's very exciting times. TFNation 2024 and Minicon plans are well and truly starting off. So yeah, so I'm going to go now before I start coughing up a lung. But thank you ever so much for watching. And yes, I shall be back very soon with more videos. And I shall see you all very, very soon. So thank you. Take care of yourselves, and I'll be back soon. And to all our one people, see you soon.